You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
It's Wednesday night, time for the Paranormal Experienced radio show with host Kat Hobson. Kick back, relax, and get ready to learn. Welcome to the show. Now, here's Kat.
Good evening. Welcome to Paranormal Experienced Radio. I am your host, Kat Hobson. I am so pleased to be here tonight. You know, I just am excited because this is not just an average bear guest. Not that there ever truly is one, because if I'm not already friends, we become friends. But this is someone I met in Eureka Springs, Arkansas last year, at the Ozark Mountain UFO Conference, their 31st one, as a matter of fact. We met in the first few minutes actually before it started. And there was a camaraderie and a recognition of a similar spirit. We spent a lot of time together. We learned together and discussed what we were learning and seeing. And I learned that this woman is not just an eclectic personality, but she is a brilliant person. She's diverse in her studies. She is different from just about anybody I've ever met. So I think it's really cool that we clicked, because I'm not always that free of a spirit. And Jean, you kind of helped me to break out of that shell, didn't you?
Well, I'm glad you think so, Kat, and thanks for having me on your wonderful show, Paranormal Experienced, where all things paranormal are explored.
Yes, but I wanted to tell people a little bit about you, too, because I posted your full bio in the event, and you have done a little bit of everything. You're a metaphysical scholar. You are a Toastmaster, and brilliant at that, may I say, because you've won several awards with that. You are a ufologist. You are also a fairly strong conspiracy expert. You've covered that for, 200 articles on the Daily Conspiracy?
Up to 250 plus now.
Wow.
You know, it's been that long since we chatted last.
You're just that prolific a writer. And it's been
that
that
daily.
long.
They don't call it Daily Conspiracy for nothing.
True that.
You know, people like me literally make it happen.
You do.
And I'm happy to say the company is experiencing growth, popularity, controversy, which is what we love. And we have added some very talented writers. Check it out, thedailyconspiracy.com.
Well
worth reading.
It is well worth reading. Your work alone is it's pretty amazing. And I like that you get to be fairly fearless, too.
Thank you so much.
Do you find that...
I enjoy the liberties that come with the job, I have to say. Although I do have an interesting story, if you don't mind.
No, please.
That one side effect of broadcast media, whether it's like this, where we're beaming out audio around the world, beep, 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 but also print media, which now is online, blogs, online magazines, or newspapers. So with broadcast media, the people broadcasting or providing the content to be broadcast sometimes feel like they're shouting down a black hole, an empty well, and that no one is down there, no one's listening. So when I began writing for the Daily Conspiracy a year ago, I figured small publication, nobody's really paying attention, and I began to get bold and a bit cheeky, as the British would say, and frankly inflammatory. And you've got to understand, I am a middle-of-the-road person, but the owner of this publication has a slant, and they want their writers to write with this slant, and that's what writers do. Writers write for other people. Authors write for themselves. So as a writer, I'm bound to help my owner to achieve his or her goals for publication, and I've done so. But one of my pieces, the title of one of my pieces, attract the attention of one of the two major political parties, believe it or not. And they contacted the magazine saying that I'd stepped over the line, basically. I'd gone a little too far. And I found that very interesting because I didn't find the title particularly provocative, and they did. What was interesting to me was that it came to their attention at all, that they would even have an opinion about it.
Well, don't you feel that they have people that are monitoring this stuff, especially in this time frame?
Apparently they do.
Apparently they do.
I always rather scoffed at that. We know that the NSA listens to everything. Well, that's inappropriate. The NSA, inaccurate. The NSA collects everything. They may be actively listening, but they passively collect, which is even more dangerous for anyone who has read George Orwell's 1984. And if you haven't, run, don't walk, and get a copy of George Orwell's 1984. It was written...
Which was not meant to be a operations manual.
That's correct. But he wrote it. It was prescient. He wrote it, I think, in the 1950s, and described a world which is really what we're living in now. He had figured 40 years in the future, and it was really another... Let's see, since the 80s, 1984, 94, for another 30 years. So he was off by 30 years. But it's still chilling to see where society's going. And I don't want to be a downer here. I'm a light worker. I want to uplift.
Right?
But there's
it is
something for cautionary tales. Now, we have to arm ourselves with knowledge, people, and make your own inquiries. Don't believe what I say or anybody else says. We try to look at facts and make reasonable conclusions, I hope, but we're not always right. No person can be right all the time, and we're all entitled to an opinion. I'm a firm believer in that. The media muzzling going on is quite annoying.
It is. And, case in point, people responding to what you read. I can't let this go. What was the title? Oh,
I don't even want to say.
Why?
I don't even want to say.
You thought it was innocuous, though.
Well,
fairly.
You and I made an agreement before the show that we wouldn't talk about politics.
Oh,
and the title is political. So we're just not going to go there, okay?
We will not, because you know what? I'm good with that. I'm good with that. But I'm really...
The point of it was not what the title was, but the point of it was that you just never know when you're publishing, whether it's print or radio or video. You just don't know who's watching, what opinion they might have. And we're seeing that a lot now, by the way. There is some news that's interesting. Insiders in the State Department and General Accounting Office, this is fringing on politics, but allow me, some of these youthful workers are being plied with drinks after work and recorded on hidden cameras and gushing about how they're participating in waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, not that encouraging, but as a UFOologist or a ufologist, as I say, it makes perfect sense to me. This dysfunction of government makes perfect sense if you're looking at a supra-organization, a government over a government that is promoting certain values and diminishing others purposefully to achieve a desired effect. And that effect is unquestioning obedience. And this is what George Orwell talked about in 1984. Unquestioning obedience, born of ignorance of our history, ignorance of how to do basic math and read. So people, get out there and educate yourselves if the school is failing you. That's all I can say.
Well, I find it fascinating because who thought that Soma would be our electronics? Right?
That what?
That Soma would be our electronics.
Oh, right.
I mean, seriously, that is something that is just, it's killing people's vision. It is killing thought processes. It is making us one-dimensional. We're the one-dimensional beings, with that. And it's very frustrating as someone who read 1984 before I had to, right, as well as Animal Farm, because I just thought they were interesting. I've always enjoyed that style of writing.
Yes.
But it's really very unusual to contemplate individuals being willing to give that up for collective thought. There's a reason the Borg has always bothered me in Star Trek. And it's not...
They are creepy.
They are so creepy. I love Q, but I hate the Borg. So it's, I think I relate to Q because if I could pop in and out of places, I would. I've worked for years trying to twitch my nose and make that work.
We love to hate Q, don't we?
Yeah, but he's so funny and so irreverent. I like that.
The writers give him some good lines, that's for sure.
They do.
And he's a great actor.
He is.
It just so happens that actor is... So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say he came out of Days of Our Lives like decades ago.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. He was there, and his character was Eugene.
His name is Delancey, and his uncle employed my father in California when I was a child. A baby, actually. I was a baby. I know. What are the odds? It's a talented family.
That's what it seems. I don't know very much about him, but I do know that he's versatile and very good at what he does. So, well, now that we've covered soap operas and the Borg, where do you want to go next?
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of responsibility.
Well, you want me to take it and just lead for a while, or? I don't mind.
As you wish. Remember Princess Bride?
I do.
As you wish.
As you wish. I have always, since we met, and it hasn't been that long, it hasn't even been a year that we have known each other. It feels like so much longer. Probably, officially it is. But when you were trying to help me mellow out with the plane situation, for those that don't know, trying to leave Eureka Springs is much more difficult than getting to Eureka Springs, or it was in this case. And you did a tarot reading for me.
That's true. Your departure was hampered. Your departure by air was hampered by severe weather in the area. And that was concerning. In fact, as I recall, you had some flight changes and delays that actually put you on a plane across the aisle from none other than Dolores McCannon. Am I right? Not Dolores,
Trisha.
but
Trisha.
Trisha McCannon. Sorry about that. Trisha McCannon, very talented psychic and fantastic presenter. She presented at this Ozark Mountain